Support for today's episode comes from Laurels. You may have heard about them in the news as the world's first oral sex undies made of an ultra-thin and stretchy latex. Laurels prevent skin-to-skin contact while maximizing pleasure, comfort, and fun. Now, don't check out and listen to me. Trust your girl, Boonie. You're still going to receive all the benefits of mouth play as they just feel like a second skin. Just think of the possibilities. And as a Boonie Breakdown listener, you can receive 10% off your purchase by using the code BOONIE10. That's Boonie, all capital letters, 10. Details on how to purchase can be found in the show notes and on thebooниebreakdown.com. Hey y'all, it's your girl Boonie, and you're listening to the Boonie Breakdown podcast, your source for all things responsible and ratchet. All right, happy new year, Ratcheteers. We're here for episode 232, our first episode of 2023, and we have none other than the homie Shika is here. We do a shit that hits different because it's been a while since we've done one of those. And this time we focus on the Black cinema film Two Can Play That Game. So we chat about that movie, doing shit that hits different. We also talk about kind of understanding, realizing, and appreciating that we're turning 40 soon. And then we wrap it up with a good old ratchet conversation about Twitter porn, amateur porn, and masturbation tips. All right. So it all works in this jam-packed episode. So stick around for that conversation. All right, let's hop right into my pick of the week. I have been holding out for a long, long time, but I finally fucking caved and I brought some Skims. And I did Skim Swim. And I'm mad that it's so comfortable and so cute and so amazing. Like, I really was trying not to support the Kardashian clan on the good American Skims, all that bullshit they peddle to us. But the Skims, I'm taking it with me on my vacation, so I'll post a picture. But baby, I don't know who helped Kim on that, but that Skim shit actually hits. So shout out to Skims. But I know someone else had written in here and asked me to do a review, and I was just like, oh, I haven't bought it. Now, I haven't bought any shapewear, but I may have to venture down that road now, because I was also skeptical because they look so little. Like, is this shit going to fit? But the strut, I don't know. It works. It fits. It's cute. It's comfy. Fucking Skims, eh?
Housekeeping. Housekeeping. Come back later, please. Housekeeping. Not now.
All right. So housekeeping. Happy fucking New Year. This is the first episode of 2023. We're probably going to be wrapping this season up come the end of February. Yes, end of February for some personal reasons. So this will be like the last 8 or so episodes of this season. Season 12 will be in the books. We have some really good episodes. I'm scheduling a few more guests to wrap out this season. So that's that. Also, thank you guys. I know it sucks because Kenny and I always do the favorite episodes of 2022. And some of the feedback that I got from that episode, because I know some people are going and listening to it now because dropping it that week when nobody's doing anything. A lot of you didn't listen then, and I get it. I understand the routine is shattered. You're not doing shit. Those days don't exist on the calendar, right? But I know some of you were listening to it this week and someone was like, this was interesting. This is probably the most in sync you and Kenny had been in one of these episodes. But thank you so much for introducing me, as always, to some new music that I had not listened to. I didn't even know Babyface dropped a fucking album last year. And when I listened to it, I really enjoyed what you guys were saying about him with the new girls of R&B. So if you did not check it out, want to get some new ideas for some new music, go back and listen to episode 231 with our responsible fave KG. Also, I want to read a love note, because who doesn't want, good love, good vibrations, good words going into the new year. So someone said, Boonie, this is the funniest adult show ever, and also includes responsible ratchetness to help us live our best lives. I love the podcast and all of Boonie's content, including Sunday sermons, Would You Rather Wednesdays. Boonie, we love you and your responsible ratchetness. So thank you so much for the kind words. If you would like to leave something, you can head on over to Spotify. You can head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us 5 stars. In Apple Podcasts, you could find a few words. I think it's been a little while since I got a review over in Apple Podcasts. So if you've not done so, you're new here, go over there and leave me some kind words in the Apple Podcast app. Follow us on social media Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at the Boonie Breakdown. Not on Instagram, on Twitter, we're just at Boonie Breakdown. Put it in your Insta story. Put the link in your group chat. Talk about it with your friends. I want to hear. I like hearing back from y'all. I like seeing your thoughts. I like knowing if I'm on the pulse or if I need to pivot. So please let me know. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. All right. So that is it for me. So let's get ready to break it down. All right, we got our homie Shika's here today. Hey, boo.
Hey, y'all. Hey, boo.
How's the new year so far?
Not gonna lie, New Year's been an emotional roller coaster for me. I don't know what's happening. I've been shedding a lot and via tears, and it's not bad, but I think I'm just like kind of in like a shift.
Is it the full moon?
It's probably the full moon on top of retrograde.
Retrograde.
Full moon was definitely in Cancer. Like, I'm a Cancer. So it's been kicking my ass a little bit, but for the most part, it's been very peaceful and nice. We did something yesterday. My grandma church friend, she turned 95, so we went up there and had like a little dinner. I seen people from the church that I probably hadn't seen since I was like 12 or 13. I remember everybody's face. It was, so that helped, that family time and stuff like that. So I have been spending a lot of time with family, and that may be just like a shift that's happening too.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, so far so good. So far so
I've been
good.
taking it easy, minding my business, drinking my water.
Drinking the water.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, it's so crazy because I was just having this conversation about it is so hard to really believe that like we're about to hit 40. I'm excited for it, but it's like shit. 40 is right there.
I've been thinking about it, and I think too, because I'm going to become a great aunt. I was like, at 38 is kicking my ass. I'm damn near 40. And even yesterday, they were like, how old are you now? I was like, 38, child. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny. I saw somebody post something like where it was like, I'm praying. Somebody went to temple with, and it was on Facebook. And she was like, I'm praying for all the people who are grieving the life they don't have. And I was like, huh. And so I went in the comments, and pretty much she was saying, like, how we all say, like, by 40, I want this and this and that and this and a family and this. Yeah. And I was like, that's a deep ass statement, because I do think some people get really highly affected by the what should have been, what could have been, and what didn't happen.
Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, like in our community too, we be thinking, I think we start to get that lesson around 25 and stuff, because there's a lot of shit I thought was going to be a thing at 25, and it was.
Yeah. And that was I'm with you there. I didn't say these things like older ages. For me, my age was 27, right? Which then come and gone, child. Mm-hmm. And it was like, by 27, I'm going to be married. I'm going to do this. And I'm just like,
yeah.
So I guess because I faced that then, that is not on my thought right now. It's just like, shit. I'm going to be 40. Like, that's.
I agree. Different. I think after 25, I was just like, okay, well, plans just not going that way. And it's more so about getting older than what I should have had, because I just realized that it's not the same. It's not going to be the same as like our parents did it. Everything's fucking different. Oh, which is is making me think about what we will be discussing, because so much be the same, but it's a lot that's very, very different.
Yes. So we haven't done one of these episodes in a while. So I hit Shika up like, yo, we need to do a shit that hits different. And I wanted to do Two Can Play That Game, because Mom and I were watching the Best Man final chapters. And so we were talking afterwards, like, oh my God, so many of them have been in movies together. And so we were like, let's start watching some of them. So we watched Brown Sugar. We watched, I can't remember the other one. We watched Two Could Play That Game. Somehow just randomly, none of them were in it, but we watched Drumline. So we were watching like a lot of those early Black 2000 movies with the ensemble cast. And so I was watching So You Can Play That Game, and I was just like, because I loved that movie. And for people who are listening, like, when did that? It came out in 2001, so it is 22 years old. Which I was just like, shit.
We graduated high school in 2002.
Yeah, so I was like, shit. Okay. First of all, Vivica looks so fucking good in this shit.
Doesn't she? Oh my God.
And again, talking about something completely different. Like, okay, it was 2 decades ago. Insane.
Mm-hmm.
How different Black beauty and Black bodies look.
That was one of the first things, because it's certain commentary and it's like, oh, her ass so fat.
And I was like, not no more.
About Gabrielle Union's titties, I was like, those are like very regular titties. Like
everything
like
is
a B or C. I mean, I'm like, now everything is
so
big
and bursting and bubbly. It's like, God damn. That was my biggest thing, because it was that part. It was the scene in the elevator where Vivica's doing her first intro, and the white man, she was like, what about with men and big butts? And I'm like, it's a nice body.
It's a beautiful.
But today's standards, that is a tiny butt.
Her butt will look so small.
It was like a flat butt.
Yeah. It blew my mind.
I was just looking, like, even the makeup, the weaves, you could tell that they, I'm just like, wow, just the way Black beauty and Black bodies look different. And it kind of made me sad to some degree, because I'm all for rah, do what you want to do. But then in the scope of, like, when people look back, all of the work that everyone's doing, these enhancements are clearly going to alter, like, the trajectory of, like, how people look. So when they look back on the 2020s, it's going to be like, what happened here that everybody got these fake ass, big ass ant-like bodies, hips that look like Barbie dolls? Like, what was going on?
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see if it shifts, because we've only lived through what it was back then and now. So are we just going to go to another place?
Yeah. But it was that was one of the things that was so jarring.
And it's like, here's the thing. I did feel like, yes, I could see, like, her butt was fat, right? But it was the description of Gabrielle Union. And I was like, she's not.
Because she was this saucy whore, right?
Yeah, but when she was dancing in the club later on in the movie,
like, I wish
he was like, look at them nice big old titties,
supple breasted,
going right down to that big old booty. And I was like, Gabrielle has always been petite. It was just, I was just like, what?
It was just very jarring, the world, because we scroll social media and everything we see then to look like, damn. So, because I was looking, all right, we'll get to it, but we'll wrap up the body talk. But it was that when she talked about put on that your dress that accentuates your curves. Every woman has one. And I was like, damn, Vivica looked good as shit in that dress, right? And now it's just like, nope, that wouldn't have been enough, because
no, it's no cutouts. It wasn't like, you know what I'm saying?
No sheer panel.
It was just a little slip dress, which they did come back.
They are back in style now, so we're in the 20-year cycle.
Yeah, a silk dress, slip dress. Yes, but that was it. It was very interesting when I saw that. I was like, wow, that shit changed.
That changed. That was one thing I wrote down: Black beauty and bodies, because I was like, God
damn. A couple of notes too, because I was like, I knew I wouldn't forget that, because it was so apparent. I was like, wow.
And because you mentioned Connie Spaulding. It's so funny, because I've never been a fan of Gabrielle Union, right? And that's the other one we watched, Deliver Us from Eva. I felt like she was definitely typecast in those earlier early 2000 movies. She was the snarky Black mean girl.
Whatever, yeah. You know what's interesting? Because of how she spoke, what was it? Maybe she did Red Table Talk. She talked about how much of a bitch she was.
Yeah, she's very aware.
I wonder if that helped her be typecast in that way because just of her energy. Because I didn't really take to her that much either back then. I mean, now I think she's cool, but yeah, it was a different. She had and maybe that's just what her real life coming into.
Yeah, because I'm like, she always played a mean girl, and I think in her first book she talked about being a mean girl, and how that was so much of her identity. So, but yeah, no, she definitely was typecast the mean girl in a lot of this shit. But Connie Spaulding, I loved the ponytail pull, like that whole walk scene.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey girlfriend, let me go holler at that Negro.
Yes, the slang and everything. I was really tickled by that. I was like, oh, okay, we don't even use these words anymore.
We don't. I thought just so much has aged. So as we're talking about the aging, because we still haven't gotten to the real plot yet. But like another thing. So for people who have not watched Who Can Play That Game, I don't know how, like, this is one of those black card revoke situations.
Yeah.
Vivica is dating Morris Chestnut, and she's kind of like the guru for her friends on how to like navigate relationships. And then they're in a situation where it looks like Keith is playing her. And so she institutes like these rules of how to like check him, like, don't play me, but then also get him back and like be happy in the end. So that is like the short premise. It's 10 days.
You know what?
What?
I wonder if because you know how like we got Living Single and then Friends. Remember How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? That just made me think.
It's probably,
I don't know. I'm just
probably.
You know what I mean? Somebody put a little hotel pad on me real quick. I'm sorry.
Probably. But in the little entourage, in the montage, they were like, the number one excuse that you know your man is cheating on you is, I was working late. And so for me, I felt like that probably would be a good indicator back in those days, because there was no internet in your pocket. There was no iPhones and all of these things, right, to easily communicate, track. So it was like you either to talk to somebody, you had to be at work or at home. And so I'm just like, would that, if someone said I was working late to me now, would that automatically trigger he's cheating on me? And I don't know that it would, because there's so many other things we're distracted by thanks to these little devices, right? That I just feel like that would not, it's so much easier to cheat now. So I don't think that would be the red flag for me if a man said it.
Work from home, like if you got to work late at this point, then maybe you got to work late. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's not how we work. It's totally different. I don't think it will be a clear indicator. I think you probably could say if it's rare, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you're working like every day for 3 weeks.
Right, and then it becomes because remember in the montage of the man, he was like, baby, I'm hitting the gym for you. I'm trying to get like, nigga, what? It's like, you know, it's different. Yeah. But I think it was pointing to the thing that like maybe it's something that's a rare occurrence. Because that's the thing where people think they can control how they come off, but I think sometimes it's things that are subconscious that you don't realize you're doing different, that your partner can pick up on. I think that's when people start getting suspicious anyway. It's like, what is this? What are you doing?
That's a good point. Yeah, when it's like, wait a minute, that's not your normal routine. Okay. Yeah, that is a rare, but I just thought that was funny. I was just like, I don't think that would be a flag for me right now. Like, I was working late. Like, all right.
Okay. Like, all right. Yeah.
What I did love about this movie is I also never realized how short it was.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's a very quick up down movie. We get some resolution. I thought it was so funny because watching all of this, I'm just like, damn, I used to love this movie. Like, all right, you ask him, right? Like, it was kind of like, and now I'm like, as an almost 40-year-old woman, I'm not doing all that shit.
Way too much work.
Way too much.
That was way too much work.
Yeah, it was just so much. Like the mental capacity, like I'm going to go to church and get somebody to spread the gossip back to him. Like,
yeah,
which was also really funny because men do gossip just as much as women. So that was hilarious. Now I'm going to say a controversial thing right now.
Okay.
Anthony Anderson looked like he could fuck when he was fat. You see it. So
I can see it.
So he was the jovial fat friend for Morris Chestnut.
Yeah.
But it was like every time they showed him, he was like twirling and spinning.
Yeah, like he was doing something. So when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, because yeah.
I've never found him somebody who was particularly attractive or I'm attracted to. Let me say that. He's not somebody that I'm attracted to. But I was watching the movie and a couple times I was like, wait a minute, I bet you Anthony Anderson was knocking it down. Like he was twirling, especially when at the party at the mansion, he was like, come here, Snow Bunny. Call me Frosty.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, I bet you ain't know a big man could move like this. And I'm like,
yeah.
So yes, those were like those moments where I was just like, damn. And I think too, laughter always gets the panties off.
Always.
And he was saying some funny shit. He was hilarious in this. I'm like, damn, he twirling and laughing.
And he was right. And he was right most of the time. He knew what was going on. To add to, as far as men and like a stereotype, I just felt like it also showed that it's a tale for a long time that broke/ugly men have amazing dick. Because
oh yeah,
Bobby Brown and Monique's boo.
Yep.
They both talked about how good it was. And I was like, it was given ugly and broke. And I was like, wow, that
ugly and broke. Yes. Because Bobby Brown was the fixer-upper guy.
Yeah.
She got a new teeth.
Do him so drastic with
it was the
he had to do her own mouth. It was so crazy. And they gonna say braces got him to that, and he still had his gap. I was like, watch y'all go. What?
It was so extreme. He was like, Karen.
And a Jerry curl. Like, it was very extreme how they had Bobby.
It was. So Bobby was the fixer-upper. Mm-hmm. And then Monique was dating the broke gangster.
Yeah.
And then she was like, my baby can lay the pipe. And I was like, I thought that too. I said, damn, don't shit change these broke niggas. Because you can't be broke and weak stroking. Like, if you broke, you got to bring something to the table for have someone interested into you. Yeah. So most broke niggas, they can fuck the shit out you because that's what they got to do. That's how they maintain. So no, I did point that out. And also, the other friend, she was typecast in a lot of these roles as well. I felt what's her name? Tamala Jones. Yeah, she was fighting. She was the same way on The Wood. It was another one she was in, very similar character. But what was it, DeAndre Whitfield? That man is a good looking man.
He's been fine since forever.
He's been fine since the Cosby Show.
Yeah, he still is. And I also feel like it was kind of like she gave off like he was kind of weak. And I was like,
That is a fine man.
Yeah.
My God.
She was kind of like, but his dick was kind of weak. I felt like she was giving that energy when they would talk about it. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yet again.
Oh my God. This one's his Instagram page. He's aged a bomb.
Oh, yes. I saw him. He was on some show.
He was on Queen Sugar a couple seasons ago.
That's what I was seeing him on. Okay, yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, he still got it.
Good God.
Just like Morris. Jesus Christ.
Now, goddamn Morris Chestnut. He ain't never had a bad day. Okay?
Crazy to me. I was like, wow.
And you know what really does it for me? Because he's not a tall man. It's the shape of his lips.
Mm-hmm. He has a good mouth.
Yeah, that mouth. I'd be like, whoo, lick him again.
Big ass smile that comes with it. Yeah.
Morris Chestnut is fine. I think also another good thing about this movie that to this day, it taught me something and it has stood with me to this motherfucking day. So it's Shantae is winning the upper hand in this little dating game. Keith is feeling like, damn, I'm fucking up. What can I do? And so he decides to go over to her house and flip the tables. And so Anthony Anderson does that whole speech about the transference of energy. And because this did come out in 2001, and I was a science nerd, that made total sense to me. Energy is neither destroyed, it's just moved from one object to the next. And I was like, to me, that changed the game for me at such a young age. And that shit is so true. So I'm like, the rule of transference of energy was taught to me. Yeah, I learned that shit in physics, but really, two can play that game really drove the point home for me because that's some real ass shit.
Yeah, that was something that stuck out to me too. When that happened, I was like, oh shit, that's...
And because we've all had a nigga weaponize that against us. When you're feeling good and great, you don't forgot about them. Like I said, they have these fucking switches. They know just at the moment you about to be like, fuck him. And the next thing you know, you get a text, a call, and you arguing, right? Like he said, I pull you into some bullshit emotionally, don't even make sense. But now you mad and upset.
Yeah.
We've all had it happen to us.
Yep. And they're not anymore because it's a reaction.
So they came and dumped that shit on you, and now they out here feeling
crazy.
That right there, I was like,
yeah.
Trigger. They needed a trigger warning on it now.
Right. Because I was like, damn, he right. God damn it.
He's so right. And I thought about that all the time. Like, I'm like, I think that is something that men do beautifully because a lot of them lack emotional intelligence. And so, okay, I don't know what to do with what I'm feeling. So let me go piss this bitch off and she can take it over. And I believe that most of them subscribe to that.
Yeah, no, that was rough. I was watching, I was like, oh no, it happened.
It happened.
Right into it.
Because it is the trick. He came over there looking good, smelling good, thinking you like, okay, you strong enough to be like, oh nigga, you not fucking.
Yeah.
We not smashing here. But then you still get caught up and taken down.
Yeah. Because then she struggled those last couple of days. She was going good for like 5, and then
she went good for a little while. I do think I think again, the length of the movie was just still stunning to me because watching it now, it did seem short, but like I can't think of the last time I've watched this movie. It always just seems so much longer. So we very quickly get to the mansion party. Can we also shout out the body that Lala has bought for herself and her face?
Oh my God, I was so shocked to see Lala. I was like, oh my God, I forgot she was in here.
Like when I heard the voice, because I think I had looked down at my phone for a second. And so I looked back up like, Lala. And I was like, whoo, look what money can do, boy.
Yeah, she looked very different.
Very different.
Very different. A lot of people look extremely different. I will say with seeing The Best Man, I was like, okay, everybody
I did appreciate that. They looked like themselves, aged versions of themselves, right? Like it wasn't like, oh, she had so much work done. Like they just looked like themselves. And I thought that was amazing to see. But the mansion party was interesting because it was so much happening. So you had her girls there. You had Anthony Anderson there. You have Connie Spaulding, Keith. All the main characters are at this party.
Yep.
And Keith is showing his ass because he shows up. So for me, I was just like, if that were me and I'm at this event and I turn around, he's like, oh, let me introduce you to the person who put this on. And it's my nigga with some other bitch. After you just came and did this bullshit on me 2 days ago.
Listen.
I'd have had to leave.
Yeah, she had a lot of like gumption to just push through because she visualized, going off, but she just didn't do it. I was just like, girl, What? And he's acting up. And he
then
came in here to make you mad.
he was a nigga with a motherfucking plan and a mission and was showing out. Mm-hmm. And then Anthony Anderson's like, got an audience, dog. Give her a show. Like, he's egging her on. I'm like,
this is so damn hard.
I would have to leave. Because then also, at this point, she had not told her friends
at all
what was going on. So her friends are looking like, bitch, what the fuck you want me to do?
Yeah, like, what is happening? Like, you need me to go check him?
That whole scene was just so wild. I also then, the one thing I did not appreciate was that she had to go make him jealous. She had to bring a white man.
I didn't even think of it like that. And I think it's maybe because she was desperate. Like, she was going
I think so, but I was just like,
I think she was moving too quick. But it shows like how her little strategy was. She was desperate then. Like, you gonna literally puncture a hole in your goddamn tire?
That's when I knew. I said, you know what? This movie is so off the hinges, actually, because tires are expensive. So
she had like a Mercedes. So like, what? I'm like, for somebody. Now, the damsel in distress thing, it was a quote. I had this white roommate in college, and she used to always have it on her Facebook page, and it said, I forgot who said it, but damsel in distress, genius in disguise, right? So I understood what she was doing. I was just like, why you had to... You just, and then it's like picking up a man off the street and just bringing him in. Like, what is this?
Yeah, it was just like, what if
it was a white man? But I was just like,
I thought the whole thing was unhinged because I was just like, no, like, I understand you got money and you're successful, but now we've crossed the line of doing too much. We're puncturing holes in tires. You're courting men off, literal strangers to take inside. You're still at work. So like, what if this man was crazy? Like, what if he had caused the scene? Like, it was just so many variables here that I felt like she did not consider. And so I was like, all right, Shantae girl, fucking up now.
Yeah, I was like, you kind of took it a little far. Like, that was just, I don't know.
I do think too, because then the funniest scene of the end, well, not the funniest, but one of the funniest scenes is because then after she leaves the party, she's like, and if your man is anything like my man, he'll be waiting for you at home with flowers. And it's like, yay. And she gets there like, Keith's not at the house.
To be that person, but I was like, if Keith is going to be there, does that mean Keith has a key? Because Keith has never came and just opened your door before. Like, how the fuck he get in there? I was like, what kind of test is that he's going to be inside? And then on top of that, that you ain't see no car outside. So why did you think he was in there?
Bingo. I was like, you came up the driveway.
It was so dumb.
You came up the driveway. There was no car, so he was waiting. So then the doorbell rings. You're like, okay, there goes Keith. And it's the Miller as a dance.
It was so funny. As soon as I saw it, I was like, is this racist? Like, what is this random Asian person sighting in this movie? Like, it was so fucking random.
And then she got sad and was like, okay, the shit didn't work. I kind of wished, as my grown woman self watching, that's how the movie had ended.
Yeah.
For her, like, the shit didn't work. That's cynical me. But, obviously,
yeah,
like, that's this fine brother over there. So, okay, I get it. They have the happy ending. Womp, womp. But
it's so funny because it's like I couldn't quite remember the ending.
I didn't either until it happened.
Yeah, a part of me thought it wasn't going to be happy. And maybe it's because it's so quick. It's like the last 2 minutes. And then
everything happened very fast. Like, so I was just like, okay, this kind of tracks. But can I blow your mind?
Yes.
Did you know it was a sequel?
That seems familiar. Wait, let me look at Google.
It's called 3 Can Play That Game. I did not see the sequel.
don't remember this. I need to see if I've seen it because I kind of remember this. Okay, 2007.
Yeah, so the sequel came out in 2007. It had Jason George, Kalita Smith. I think it was like Tony Rocket said. And I'm like, wow, never knew there was a sequel.
2007. I probably didn't see this. No, I remember this fucking weird bang. Oh God.
So you did see it?
Maybe I forgot it. I kind of remember them together. What is this bang?
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. And I think this is around the time when Vivica was starting to do this stuff to her face.
Yeah, her face looks different.
But now I'm like, I kind of want to watch it. I'm sure it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm not going to pay for it. But if it's on something free that I can watch, then I may just try to check it out. But I'm not paying for it because, it'll be showing you like, oh, go look on here. And then it's like $4.99 to rent. I'm not paying for this movie. But if I can find it somewhere free, I don't mind watching a ghetto. Well, I won't say ghetto, but cheap, poorly made Black movies. I watch them a lot.
Yeah.
So yes, I felt like overall, a lot of this, it's still a good movie. Like it's a fun, nostalgic watch. But did it age well? It's not bad. It wasn't bad watching it, but it isn't something. It's not I would not label it a classic.
Yeah, or like super relatable or relevant today.
Yeah, it's a fun, quick watch. But little parts of it hit different because I really did love this movie when I was younger, like those college days.
I watched it. I know we watched.
I watched it a lot when I was younger, and so now to watch it, it was just like, okay, this was cute. All right,
yeah,
I don't need to watch this again.
No,
but it made me. What I did like about it too was just, like we said earlier, like looking back and seeing like that snapshot of what Black beauty looks like. I think I'm just so fascinated by this. And also because recently I was at my great aunt's house. Yeah, my great aunt. And she was showing like all these photos and a lot of these Black and white photos in the family. And I was just like looking like, damn, people was like understandably so. Like we were like harder looking, right? And I'm looking at this picture like this person is probably my age, but they look 60. Right. Yeah. Because they lived way harder lives, right? And so I'm like, shit. So, but I was just thinking about that, like the whole trajectory of like what will Black, like when they capture that in 60 years and looking back, what are they going to say Black people look like? And it makes me a little sad.
Yeah, because it was very different. And even too, thinking about their ages and like where they were in their career, like 20.
Oh, that was so
like,
I'm glad you mentioned that because that was another point. I'm 28 and I just made partner. And I'm like, I hate movies.
Okay. Relax.
Yeah, and they were doing a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, not in this economy. No.
Yeah, like 28, she made partner, had this baller ass house. And I was just like,
yeah, Gabrielle Union's character was like a VP of marketing
at Coca-Cola or something.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
And then Keith was this like super accomplished attorney closing $1 trillion deals. Like,
no.
I noticed that to be the case because we could probably also not blame, but that probably started with Boomerang, right? A lot of those ensemble movies, it is centered around the career, the workplace, a little bit of it. And they're always super accomplished. And I get it, Black excellence, because I think listening to a clip, Eddie was very intentional with Boomerang because in the early 90s, it was rare to see movies like that with Black. And so I think that became the trope for a little bit, is that you had to be super accomplished in your career.
And also, too, a 4-year degree could probably get you there a lot quicker than now. Because I think that was the idea too. They're like, okay, these Black people are going to college, get out and hit the ground running. And I just think like just how the job market is now and trying to get a job, like that shit is not easy no more. And we probably saw how, you go, oh, let's go get your bachelor's. You get your bachelor's, and then it became some years later, oh, you need a
master's.
master's. Oh, you need a doctorate. It's just like, bitch, what?
Fucking stop fucking moving the motherfucking goalposts. I don't got it.
No.
So, yeah, no, that is a good point. I forgot about that career because when she said it,
I was shocked.
I cracked up laughing.
35. I was like, okay, it's 35. And they were like 28. I was like,
I literally cracked up when she was like 28 and I'm a sister. But what I also really liked about this movie is I think Vivica did it flawlessly in talking to the camera.
I did like that. And see, that was before it was like, was that before The Office? If it wasn't, I wasn't watching The Office and shit like that. So I did like that type of breaking the third wall thing.
I think she did that beautifully. Yeah, that part of that movie, I think that's what really made that movie work. The Office definitely, I think, came on after. I think The Office was like college days, but
yeah.
So no, she did that beautifully in, like you said, breaking the third wall, because it would be like freeze framing, rewinding, very cute, very cute, very cute.
Yeah,
so,
and it helped you get through the story.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not mad at you can play that game, but it's I won't give it a classic stamp.
No, it's not like Waiting to Exhale.
No, but it's definitely one of the ones, if you need to keep your black card, I do think you should watch it for that list. But I won't say that it's a Yeah. What the other scene we didn't talk about, we touched on it, but the whole church scene.
Oh.
And I laughed at that scene for a couple of reasons. One, because they kept flashing to Keith, who's blowing up her phone.
Right.
He's going through it and she's at church doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the scene with the church hug and then they go golfing with Anthony Anderson and they carried the bone back to him. Like, we saw Shantae all hugged up with Trent at church. Right. They're talking about the church hug. And I was like, that is hilarious.
Women do not, they will still create space. He was like, just in case your man get a little excited.
That scene was so fucking funny. And that guy, he's another one of those black actors that's been in a lot, but I have no fucking idea what his name is. And now I'm going to have to go look it up.
I don't know why I think it's Anthony something or Anthony's in it, but yeah, he was funny. And also that made me think too, I'm like, yo, people's lives are just like back then, I think were just way more intertwined. Because what are the odds you go to church and you're going to see your nigga friend there? Like, what are the odds?
Yo, I'm cracking at some of these names for the people who got credit in it. It's like Lion Man #2, Lion Man #4.
When they was doing the montage. Because the one who talked about the gym, I've seen him and stuff too.
Yeah, I've seen him too. Okay, so the character is Eddie and Alex Thomas. Yes.
Alex Thomas. Okay, it was an A.
Alex Thomas, because he was in Players Club.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been in a few. Oh my god, he's little as shit.
Yeah, I'm about to say he looks small.
Yeah, they say he 5'5" on here.
Yeah, I remember.
Wasn't he in Babs too?
Okay. I don't remember his part in Babs. I remember him the most from Players Club because for some reason I watch Players Club almost once a week. I don't know why. I really don't know what.
No, that's the one I have not watched in a while either.
I was so into Players Club. I remember we had a little DVD. I used to play it on the computer. I don't know why I watched it so fucking much. Oh, which made me think. One thing I did appreciate too was really good music. Like from the start, the music, I was like, oh, really?
The music was hitting.
I need to look up. Let's look
The
up their
music was hitting the soundtrack. I'm going
the
to look it up.
soundtrack that they had because it was good music. I was jamming. I was like, oh, okay.
Now, I'm going to ask you this. Have you ever played games like this when you're dealing with like your people in real life?
Nah, I don't think I have the emotional capacity to do that. Like, I'm a sensitive person. I just don't need to be doing extra things and setting myself up for a roller coaster. It's already going to be a roller coaster ride. And it was such a small thing. Okay. I'm not going to say it was small. I think it was the lie that was the bigger part because he called and canceled. Or what seemed to be a lie, because based on his story, it was like, no, was working late, homegirl asked.
And we went to dinner.
Because there was never a part until Anthony Anderson made him like, you was thinking about hitting it. It didn't seem like it was anything going on in a relationship where he was trying to see if he still had it or anything.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't think I would go through that. Especially but I mean, I guess it's to teach it. No, I don't like teaching people lessons. Actually, no, I don't like that.
Yeah, I just feel like that's not anything, a burden I want to put on myself.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, I can't exert that type of energy. And I've never done it really, right? Like I'm very well, the word I've been using this week is I'm very cold. But when I'm done, I'm done. And so you fucking around like this, yeah, you coming to me, I'm not orchestrating a whole strategy to like, I'm just not doing all of that. So
yeah, and I think because if I decide I'm done, it's no need to do that because I'm already upset enough to make that decision because I feel like I can be understanding and rational where that wouldn't have been a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no. So if it's a big enough deal for me to be like, oh yeah, no, I'm good on that. That's it. I'm not teaching you a lesson to make you come back and be right.
It's like one of those the whole movie premise when you think about it, honestly, it's one of those like Cosmo articles, like 10 steps to get your man to act right? So it's real pick me behavior, but not doing it.
Even more interesting, and I think probably less realistic is that the man is doing the same. Like I just like, okay, so y'all both want to be together, but y'all both want to do this thing. Like, what the fuck
Ain't that how it go?
But I feel like nowadays, like niggas really don't be trying to play that.
Well, I don't think they have to, right? Like
they have more options. Yeah, so I'm just like, this is just like when she was on day 7 and he finally like gave up. Yeah, that would have been more like day 2.5, babes. Like it would have been very early on in the, oh, you're not answering me and you're tweeting or you're posting on Instagram or you're doing this or you're doing that. You done updated your Facebook, bitch. Like, nah, I'm good on you. It's not about not about to make it 10 days.
100%. Because that was a thing. That was the thing Monique laughed on. She's like, because most men have a cycle. They can wait at least 7 days before considering having sex. And so you have to know your man's cycle and get him right before he considers hooking up with another girl. And Monique was like, 10 days? Who you fucking?
Like, his is 2. She said it's 2 days. Not 10 days.
Oh, that was hilarious. So yeah, I'm not doing all that.
Yeah, no.
Not doing it all.
And then that means like in the real world, it just means that then you gotta forgive each other for how you just played in each other's faces because everybody had hurt feelings at one point now. Y'all done transferred the energy a couple of times and we're just gonna be happily ever after. Interesting that in the sequel, she's with a whole nother somebody, but I think she played more
like a consultant role.
Yeah, I think she played as a consultant role, if I remember it, but that don't mean she was with him. She probably wasn't.
Mm. Mm. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
that was a good one. A lighthearted,
Yeah.
little lighthearted watch.
Yeah. It
I
works.
was gonna ask you another question, but I just looked at the time.
Okay.
I was seeing this going around. We could do this real quick.
Okay.
And I have never done this, but I'm like, Shika may have.
Oh, God.
Do you have a sex bucket list?
Oh, no.
I don't either. And I saw, I believe it was Tayomi was talking about making your sex bucket list. And I just realized, like, damn, at 38, do I want to start a sex bucket list?
I don't know.
Because I'm just like, I just really just want to be piped down good and consistently. Like, I don't need to.
I think
And that
open up. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm like, to me, with my person, like, okay, yeah, fuck me on the balcony. Fuck me here. Fuck me there. Fuck me everywhere, right? Like, I think that's my bucket list.
Hey, Dr. Seuss.
Fuck me in a tree.
I that's what I was gonna say too. Like, I just think I'm open enough to have new experiences, but I don't need the pressure of a bucket list. I don't even
like a bucket list for regular shit.
I was gonna say for regular life. There are places I want to go, maybe things I want to do, but like I don't like that pressure of it.
Yeah, but I thought about it. I'm just like, yeah. Like, I think the bucket list, maybe when I'm partnered and the shit is hitting, then I'd be like, all right, let's just do it everywhere.
Yeah.
But and maybe, but I'm just like threesomes, like, okay, I'm gonna have a threesome. I want to do this. Some of that shit, maybe when I was younger, but now it's just like, if it happens, maybe.
That's exactly it. I don't think I have anything that I haven't tried. And it wasn't like it was on a list or anything I've done. It was just like, oh, but that still was a new experience. I think younger, I had more of a set amount of things I wanted to do. But yeah, no, I'm all right without a bucket list.
That's how I felt. I'm gonna do a confession. And this is not shaming sex workers. It's just like we all have our limits and boundaries. So Tayomi was sharing those stills, and I had put it in the Patreon group, like the stills with her porno that she did with Orlando. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, let me get in this OnlyFans. Girl, so you joined the OnlyFans, and to get the video, it's $150.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh, yeah, no. Mm-hmm. There is nobody I want to see fuck enough that I'm paying $150 for.
And I guess there are some.
So clearly somebody paying for it.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, and honestly, that might make sense because I mean, yes, she does in the sex work, but I don't think pornography is like a huge sector that she's in. So maybe that's why the price is so high. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, your price is your price.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But my wallet is my wallet. And so I was kind of disappointed because I was just like, dang, this could be a little something. But
you know what I noticed too? God, I'm about to tell my business. But anyway, you know how you can, you know, you see some of the more independent sex workers working on OnlyFans, stuff like that, kind of pop up on the timeline, whatever. What I've noticed is that some of them, I think at some point too, if they get big enough or whatever, you'll see like a minute and 30-second maybe clip on Pornhub. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I can understand them wanting to charge like that, but I just feel like, you know, if you wanted to just get a glimpse just to see what it's hitting for, then
yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit more than a still to see if this video is worth $150.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so yeah, I do
content on some of the sites anyway, so it's like.
Yeah, I do support sex workers. Mm-hmm. I'll buy an OnlyFans or something for a month, change it up. Give you a little something different to look at.
I never looked at the whole like site or anything. I'm gonna look at it because I can see that being.
So how I be finding them is like I be following a few filthy Twitter because Twitter porn. Chef's kiss.
Sometimes I catch myself in somebody's media and I'd be like, it's been 10 minutes.
Just scrolling like, God damn. Yeah. But no, it's this one page I follow that, and it's funny because you gotta be careful. You can't like shit on Twitter because some people that really be telling all your business.
Pro tip, bookmark, do not like.
Do not like, because if you like a video, I'll be like, oh, what's that filth Adrian is liking?
That's how I see it on my timeline. I don't follow none of that shit. Somebody been liked or
I do follow I follow 2 pages, and I also be judging people. I'll be like, look at this person following this page too. But but sometimes the one page I follow will post all of the like they'll retweet some of the sex workers OnlyFans links. It was this one. I said, God damn. I clicked immediately. It was like
subscribe today.
And they had a little sale. It was like 3 months for $6. All right.
It was worth it. It was good. Like the content.
So fucking good.
That's what's up. Because I think like a lot of them, they take it very seriously.
No, this was some really good amateur shit. It was no plot. It was just straight getting to the fucking. It was like they like you could tell they're probably a real life couple that they're not doing this. So
oh no, it's a couple for sure that I watch often, but they started out posting it on porn. I think they've since switched to OnlyFans. And I've considered several times.
Yeah.
It's really like,
and I think you could see the chemistry, which is different from other porn where it's just somebody like bam, bam, or whatever. So I think sometimes seeing these real life couples who are monetizing their sex lives, right?
Yeah,
I'd be like, this is some hot shit.
I prefer. I'm getting into the space where that's the type of. That's just what I want to see most of the time, like that type of porn.
Yeah. So that's where I've been migrating to. But then it's also like, you got to be mindful. Like, I'm not spending, like, I will support sex workers, but I also have a budget. So
right.
I can't be tempted to constantly be looking. So I do like some of them when they'll do like a bundle. You can get 3 months for X amount of dollars. I just set a little reminder in my phone, or the next day you can set up to cancel the membership so you don't forget, because some of them do have really big jumps. It'll be like, it was 3 months for $7.99, and then the next month is $60. So like when it expires, right? So I will go up, sign up next day, hit cancel, but you still have the access for.
Very smart.
Yeah. So, but yeah, support sex workers. Don't just try to look for their shit on Pornhub or on Twitter. Support. But yeah, some of that amateur shit. I was not a big amateur girl. I remember when you had mentioned it before. But I think it was because
the quality.
It's like this fucking iPhone, I can't zoom in. I need to see it. It's dark. So yeah, some of these people on Pornhub be having the lights and the ring light. Yeah, like it's real. And then they like each other, so this should be nasty. And I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah, for sure.
Sign a bitch up.
Yeah, no, it does.
And you feel, I think it also makes it a little bit of voyeurism there too, because they're a real life couple and you're watching, and it's like, oh, they letting me in versus just some paid people who are boning each other. So
right.
I don't know how we got here, but yeah.
But here we are.
Now I'm getting hot and bothered because I'm just thinking now.
Look, as we're talking about it, I'm like, yeah, that was a great couple.
Y'all kept laughing at me. I was talking about Twitter porn before. A couple of y'all had DM'd me. I'm telling y'all, that is why a lot of sex workers stay on Twitter, because they're able to grow fan bases, for the most part, very large followings without the threat of being deleted. Like the Instagrams, definitely not Facebook, but Instagram and TikTok. So yeah, the Twitter streets, if you get in a nook, You can go down a rabbit hole.
Professionals are moving to OnlyFans too.
Yeah.
So, or they doing both because they getting all the money with that.
Multiple streams of income. But no, I'm telling y'all want to look for something hot and you tired of being on page 76 of Pornhub trying to find the right scene. I think that's what tipped me. Is because, you know, even though I'm a visual, sometimes it does help for the visual. Sometimes I don't like to have the visual of porn when I'm masturbating. But sometimes I need a quick hit. All right, let me watch something to get me. All right. Yeah. But I think that's what I was hating, was just like finding what I wanted to see. I don't have time to sit here and be on page 76 and being like, okay, I finally found something, and then I didn't pay attention, and it was only a 1 minute clip, and I'm like at the part, and I can't come because now it done cut off.
Yeah, I do like that I have a good memory, so most of the time I can, like, if I'm struggling like on page 4, I'd be like, you know what, let me just type Old Faithful. I remember
I do have a couple Old Faithfuls, and then sometimes you get desensitized to it because, like, okay, let's say like you nutted at the 12-minute 13 mark, right? And so now you got to jump to 15 to be like, let me see something I ain't seen, but I know.
Yeah, right.
This is true life porn masturbation right here, tips. Okay,
because you don't want to end on the same spot.
You can't end on the same spot. So I be jumping like, all right. Every time she do that, I be like, but I be jumping ahead in the same video. So I do have some Old Faithfuls, but
I like the fresh and new though.
Yeah, OnlyFans has been a nice little adjustment. It's also weird to me because it's a few sex workers that I follow who I don't feel comfortable yet doing theirs, or people who've been on the podcast. Like, it's just like, I don't know why. It's like, that's a little boundary there.
Yeah, but it's for everybody. But I get it.
Yeah. So that is how we ended this episode on a ratchet note. There are your porn masturbation tips.
Like for the new year.
Let me say something. I had to, and he may or may not listen to this. So if you're listening, hey. So recently I was conversing with someone. I was trying to give them, like, you know, a little tip, like, come up off the porn when you're masturbating all the time. Like, I know men are very visual. Use your imagination, run your imagination sometimes. And I had to talk them how to do that and to give them some tips. And so that is my tip. Like, as much as porn is amazing and great, and thankful to all the people who decided to go into that industry, sometimes just running a good flashback through your mind or anticipating something you want to do with somebody, that gets you hot and bothered too. And so that is another masturbation tip, because it is scary. I'm always a little nervous about men who are really into porn like that, because I feel like that's how they're going to want to fuck you, is because it's what they see all the time. And so that is my little tip.
The more you know.
Reading Rainbow. I can do anything. It's in our book. Just take a look.
Reading Rainbow. We make no sense. Get us out of here. Something is wrong with us.
Truly. So, well, Shika, it's been fun as always.
Always. I loved it.
Bye, girl.
Bye.
All right, that is it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Shika. I hope you got some good laughs and chuckles. We're so fucking foolish, especially at the end of this conversation. Be sure to support our sponsor, Laurels. You can use the code Abooni10 to save 10% on your order. Okay? And if you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, or any apps that you listen to your favorites on. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review too. You might just hear your review in a future episode. Follow us on all social media. Share the episode with those you love, those you don't love, those you fucking hate. I don't make these fucking pretty images for nothing, okay? So have a dope-ass week. Stay healthy, safe, and sane. Thank you for listening. And remember, the ratchet in me always honors the motherfucking ratchet in you. Namaste. Until next time.